Pleasure of sitting here with Jenny R., which shouldn't be Zepieski, but it's Jenny Zepieski with an R at the beginning. Go figure.
Yes.
So Jenny came to us probably via a coworker.
Yes.
She's an executive assistant in the construction industry at VJS. They do a lot of commercial stuff in the region, and she's a power lifter. And so, Jenny, what were you struggling with that brought you in to get an activation?
So I am obviously not super easy on my body with powerlifting and at a desk job. So I was having chronic hip tightness and pain. Back, not major back issues, but just like pains and ailments where I felt like I shouldn't have to feel this way for as active as I am, and just day-to-day things were starting to be kind of a pain, like even getting out of bed in the morning. Sounds dramatic, but like just the rolling out of bed, trying to get your body up and moving right away in the morning was sometimes a struggle. Getting in and out of the car just with like hip tightness and pain and just like just normal daily movements. It was uncomfortable, painful at times, and so I just felt like there had to be a different, better way to fix my body. I'd been through, I see the chiropractor bi-weekly, physical therapy, yoga, stretching, you name it. And all that stuff normally was a temporary fix, but it did get to the root of the problem. So I felt like there had to be a better way.
So you thought you'd give it a shot. So what was your aha moment that you thought, okay, this process is building off of everything you've done?
Yeah.
It's not the only one and only sort of a process, but we find it effective. So what was your aha moment that you said, oh, this is unlocking some keys to movement?
So I learned about you, Pete, from a coworker friend, and he had seen you, I think, maybe a handful of times. So I finally dug into him. I said, Jake, what does Pete do? And so I think we had a first conversation over the phone, and what you had told me really intrigued me. And so I came in after our first appointment. I noticed after you doing your thing for the first hour or whatever, getting up and walking, immediately I noticed my hip tightness was gone, and it was hard to put to words exactly how I felt. I knew something was different, had changed, but again, it was hard to describe how I was feeling. Probably like more lighter, limber, I don't know, almost that my body was functioning at a high level again. And I, with lifting and powerlifting and things like that, I knew that muscle groups such as my glutes, my lats, my hamstrings, things like that weren't firing per se, and so there are only so many band stretches you can do, glute bridges, band warm-ups that you can do to try to get them to work, but if they're not working, they're not working. And so immediately I noticed that my hips felt better, but I didn't know if it was like a temporary thing or if it would be forever. And so that night after I left here, I had to squat, and I noticed that I was hitting depth, no problem. Normally our warm-up is like 30, 45 minutes. It takes me a while to warm up. My hips a lot of times felt like I was gonna blow something out or tear something, and it was amazing. And I told my coach how much better I felt, but again, it's hard to describe how you feel and all those things. And so I think the immediate response for me was like, whoa, my hips aren't tight anymore. So I woke up the next morning, same thing, like, this isn't just a gimmick. Day after, and still to this day, I can't remember when I first came to see you. It was probably a month or two ago.
At least.
Or so. Still to this day, there's no pain, there's no tightness. And I sit at a desk all day, so that obviously doesn't help, so I try to get up and move around as much as I can. But it's been amazing. I mean, it's hard to describe that to people,
Yeah, it can be. It's something you have to experience, or it helps to experience it. But I truly believe that our bodies are so miraculously put together that if we ask you, you're the powerful one in this equation. Like,
right.
I'm facilitating the process, and there's a method to it. But if I ask you, the powerful one, the right question, your body's going to respond with the right answer.
Right.
And that's what it does.
Right.
And that's what it did for you. So what were some of the specific, so your training session that day and continues, how is it playing into some really black and white numbers of how's your powerlifting going?
Yeah, so I train usually 3 or 4 days a week, heavy lifting. So I would say with recovery, that has been leaps and bounds better. Just the way I feel that night after lifting, the next morning, days after.